You a dad facing a custody dispute? Are you concerned that you have the uphill battle in this life-altering struggle? Are you concerned that mothers are favored in the court system? Unfortunately, you should be concerned. There is rank bias against men throughout the judicial system, especially in family law cases, and even more so when child custody is at hand. I can help you combat those biases, and I can help you make the playing field a little bit more level. Let's talk about how that happens. Your goal in a custody case is not just about telling your story. It's about identifying where the bias exists and then mindfully and explicitly attacking it. Let's look at a couple ways how. First, you need to develop a strategy. Custody battles are riddled with emotion. The party's emotions, the emotions of third parties, even the emotions of the judge. Now, it's your job to manage these emotions as best you can. Specifically, your emotions have to be pushed aside and replaced with well thought out strategy. The basic strategy is going to be similar to preparing for any custody trial, but since you're a dad, you have to go a few steps further. Of course, you have to identify what arguments mom is going to be bringing to persuade the court that she is the better parent. Bringing a bullet point breakdown is probably going to be the most effective way to approach this so that you can predict and prepare for what the other side is going to say. Now, contrary to what one might expect to be the standard approach, you don't counter her arguments. In fact, if they're true, and she does provide good care for the child, agree with them. Now, what you're going to want to do in addition to that is present your own argument. Demonstrate your value as a parent and the necessity of your relationship with your children to their development. Then you can acknowledge the value of mom's relationship as well, and you can come to the conclusion that both relationships are paramount for the child. You can come to the conclusion that neither relationship can be as successful with only half of the time, but half time is the best that can happen, given the separation of the child's parents. These days, most judges are going to tell you that a custody trial is not a trial over who is the better parent. This important mantra is something that you need to repeat time and time again in order to present your strongest case possible. Let's look at a couple of common scenarios that a dad can expect to face in custody litigation. First, moms often claim that they are the ones who took the kids to appointments like the doctor or the dentist. Now, in order to counter this, you are not going to say that you also took the kids or that you were at work while she was at home with the kids. However, you're going to counter this argument by demonstrating something different, by how substantive and important you are to your children. For example, prepare testimony for court that demonstrates your involvement with the children, something that is formative or important to the child's development. It could be something as simple as teaching the child to swim or ride a bike, or something as complex as how to respond to bullying. You then need to testify as to why the interaction was important to the child and their development. Then your attorney may tie the mom's testimony into yours. They may ask something like, "Isn't it true that mom took the kids to most of the doctor's appointments?" To which you then respond, "Yes. And she always told me how things were going at the doctor's office. And then I would often talk to my kid about the appointment. If they got a shot that day, I would congratulate them on how brave they were," and things of that nature. It's important to remember that the testimony that you present at trial is intended to counteract the judge's bias, not the mother's bias. Judges are humans too, and as humans, they're often oblivious to the importance of a father to the development of their child. They're often consumed with the maternal preference, and this bias is often going to be subconscious. The right stories told in testimony are going to spark memories about dads and their relationship to their children. Remember, it's your job to remind the judge that you are a parent too, and that you are a crucial presence in your child's life. Most judges are parents as well, and they know the importance of a dad in their kids' lives. So if you show the judge all of the benefit that you bring to your child's life, that's going to help underscore the paramount importance that your role in your child's life has. By way of a second example, mothers are often going to argue that dads are too tough on the kids, and mom is going to present testimony to support that accusation. Now, when you're faced with that, the right strategy to combat it is not defensiveness. On the contrary, just own it. If there was a particular incident that mom testifies to, then you would discuss the severity of the underlying issue that resulted in the discipline that you gave to the child. Under no circumstance should you end up leaving this issue unaddressed. Even better, if there's ever an opportunity to see that your lesson resonated with the child and that they grew from it, relay that story. You're going to conclude this testimony with ownership of the reality that you're largely responsible for what kind of adult that your child is going to grow up to be. Love is critical to the development of a child, but love is expressed in countless different ways. Teaching your child to know right from wrong and to actually do the right thing is a clear expression of love and is very regularly found in the father-child relationship. This is drastically different from the more nurturing type of love to which mothers testify in court. And what this thinking does is bring to the surface just how necessary dads are for their kids' wholesome development. It gives you the opportunity to repeat the mantra that the case is not about who is the best parent. And it gives you the opportunity to underscore the true and important value that you bring to your child's life. Now, as a third example, mothers very often ask dads to be the disciplinarian for the children. They simply don't want to be the bad guy. Now, if this is the case, you need to fully attack this in trial, especially if mom is accusing you of being too tough. Testify explaining how this responsibility was passed to you, that it's hard, but that it's important. Tell a story or two that you have when you disciplined your own child. Then conclude this testimony with concern about having less than equal time with mom, with concern about how there may be a lack of balance between the two households, with an underscoring of how important your role is and how both parents owe it to the child to teach them right from wrong. Now, if you're looking for more than 50-50 custody, then testify that you being the only disciplinarian continuing and mom not doing her part leads to you needing to be the primary parent, not mom. A child free from discipline is a recipe for disaster, and you need to tell the court exactly what that looks like in your particular circumstances. Now, in addition to combating the opposing party's assertions of how great of a parent she is with assertions of how great of a parent you are, of course, rather than minimizing her testimony, looking into the past is going to be equally important. You're going to have to tell the court that you also bathed the child, changed their diapers, fed them, read to them, put them to bed, woke them up, and so forth. You need to establish the intimacy and love that has developed between you and your child. Pictures are going to be helpful exhibits to reinforce that testimony. And what this is going to do is show similarity between you and mom. Moms do not have the monopoly on nurturing. You provided some of that classically understood nurturing to your child as well. Moms are going to almost always try to impress upon the court that their relationship with the child is unique and critical for emotional well-being. This testimony creates a perfect opportunity for you to show that your relationship with your child is just as tender and indeed is just as important as mom's relationship with the child is. Another unique attribute in the father-child relationship is that children often look to their dads to fix things for them, whether it be fixing something physical or fixing more abstract problems. Repair and maintenance are often the domain of the dad. This pattern predictably turns into teaching moments and allows dads to further highlight that they are crucial fixtures in their children's lives. If you can testify to something of this nature, it will be great and persuasive at trial. Now, in building your testimony, lean in on what the experts say about why a present and active father is so important to the full and healthy development of a child. Tie your testimony to what the experts say. Fathers teach their children how to be independent, how to navigate the world, how to deal with people, and how to deal with adversity. These are life skills that dads typically help their children with. Now, although this testimony is best amplified with expert witness testimony, an effective closing argument presented by counsel can also go a long way in underscoring the importance of your presence in your child's life. Now, the crux of what I'm saying to you today is do not compare yourself to mom. Do not step into the ring with her, and do not let her make the rules. Rather, tell the court who you are to your child. Say that children do better with two involved parents because each a mom and a dad bring different and important aspects into the life of their child. Fathers are different than mothers. Don't fight mom. Persuade the court that your relationship is just as valuable as mom's relationship. Conceptually, each mom and dad are as valuable as the other. So when mom asks for the court to effectively cut you out of the child's life, remind the court that both parents are important, both parents are valuable, and both parents are loved. Even though all of this sounds like common sense, presenting this sort of case to a judge requires discipline, steadfastness, integrity, and no small amount of grit, all characteristics that dad have in excess. Don't leave this important decision to chance. Do it right from the start and work with an attorney who understands the unique challenges that you face and how to overcome those challenges to provide for the best possible future for your child. I'm Chris Kazmarek with Perret & Associates. Please give me a call and we can start developing your strategy.